So anyway, I wanted to show you one of Veg's very earliest chicken system installations. So it's a custom straw yard, and this is our very first iteration, or one of the very early experiments in chicken houses. One of the things we did do soon after this was add more ventilation, but this has functioned perfectly well. This is where you collect the eggs. And this is an early version of the double door, where you angle grinded down old gates, but we still have the double door, with a slightly neater way of organising, so you can throw your scraps in and the chickens can't escape. And the chickens roost up in here, and one of those roosts was maybe a bit close to the back wall there, I see. Live and learn. But the vast majority of the poo falls straight through into an easily harvestable spot for reuse on the garden, etc. And the idea is that if you layer this up, so high, 20-30 centimetres high, with oak leaves or wood chips or some source of carbon, that the chickens voluntarily mix the chicken shit through, and effectively compost for you, as long as the moisture levels are right. It breaks down and bugs and worms come in, which makes them more excited to scratch. And one feature of this setup, that I believe was the brainchild of Simon Marshall, who was working with us at the time, was this gate here. So the chickens are in the straw yard, which is fox-proof, and they can come and go from their house. And then there's a run that comes out on this side. I'll actually walk the run. You can see the fruit trees are very well established now and producing beautifully. Although one thing that Jenny over here has mentioned is that they lost a lot to the lorikeets, so they're wanting to redesign the netting systems. But the run goes right down the back here. So I'll put it down at chicken eye height. So if your chicken's moving around, and oh wow, some weeds to scratch, and you can see it goes right around, way down there. So quite a significant run. And then coming back to that gate, I wanted to show you. Walk past some wormwood, which is a self-harvestable chicken medicinal. Dodging the trees, past the wicking beds, which are actually on top of a swimming pool. So a lot of water storage in the system. But when you want to let the chickens out of the straw yard, you open this gate, and in the meantime this is wide open. You can easily walk into the run and access your trees. You open the gate, and in the very act of opening the gate to let them out, you are closing the gate that keeps them out of the garden. So now they can run to and fro, and then same thing, once they're back in the straw yard, as you close that, you're simultaneously opening up that access again. So really nice to think about how you can set your gates up to be as functional as possible. And then we've got a different system over here, which is the wooden chute. So it keeps the foxes out, but you can open that out and you can send the chickens out this way. And it's a bit like thinking of the chicken house and the straw yard as a tank. Instead of water stored in a tank, you've got chickens stored in this chicken tank, the straw yard and house. And then when you open this, it's like turning on a tap, and you can send the chickens down this equivalent of a pipe, which is this narrow run, and then they come out this side and fertilise and scratch and service these fruit trees here. So the way you set up your gates and chicken chutes and all that is like turning taps on and off to send the power of chook to useful points in the garden. In this particular case, it's probably time for another layer of wood chips or mulch, or even locking up one of the runs and getting a crop established of clucker chicken fodder plants for 3 months, and then putting them in there and starting that kind of rotation. Here's the actual chickens. Running around up the top here. And we had the various gates, so you can easily kind of get in and out as you desire. So there we go, more wicking beds up here. And I might ask Jenny, do you mind if I ask you how the chicken system's functioned over the years?
Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah, the thing is, in the summertime with the leaves on the trees,
Yep.
the chickens can always find somewhere cool to sit. So over there, they've dug a bit of a bowl, and on really hot mornings, they'll actually fill it up with water.
Right.
And at first, they run away because that's terrifying.
Yeah.
But then they realise, well, this is nice. So they'll actually come and
Nice
sit
and cool, yeah,
in the moist soil. So the dual aspect has been good, that we can pick which parts of the yard we want them to access, depending on the time of the year and how much weeds are growing in each place.
Yep.
And the eggs have been nice, and they provide gardening services and nourishment for the soil.
Yeah.
And they're hilarious. I love them. And they always come running, especially if I'm wearing an apron. They know what that means.
Fantastic. Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
we love it.